Okay. So with that John Maxwell call, a lot of what we talked about was belief. So belief goes twofold, right? Belief in yourself and then also belief in your teams. And the biggest thing he talked about was, and I know I say this all the time with him, but he reiterates over and over in every single call that we have is to ask questions to your team, right? A lot of times we sit back and try and put out so much effort and time to give resources and help to our teams when we're overworking ourselves or we're not doing the work that they actually need. Or maybe it's even that it's really a mindset thing that they need, right? So ask questions for your team. Like, what do you feel like is holding you back? And if you get the typical answer I get is, it's market partners. I don't know what to say or how to say it. And truth be told, that makes me so frustrated because I stop there with my questions and I see someone saying, I don't know how to talk to market partners. I don't know how to reach out to people. I've offered the business to 6 people and they've been here for 2 months, right? I can get so frustrated and be like, there's 1,400 calls on this, guys, because that's my initial reaction to be like, you guys, there could not be more training on how to attract new people, on how to reach out to them, on how to be attractive about it. Like, I could go on and on how many calls have been done and posted on this, but then I have to remember it's like, okay, let's get to the root of the problem here. Why is market partners their hold back, or why is that so challenging for them? And you just need to ask them, like, what is it about market partners that you don't feel confident in? Is it the actual like task of offering it and reaching out, or is it the fear that they're going to be told no when they get rejected? Is it the fear of just putting themselves out there, and it's not, they know they're going to be told no initially? Most of the time it's really just like the fear of biting the bullet. Maybe they're not confident to spark up new relationships or conversations. There's so many things you could be asking questions about. And then the second part goes in letting them know that you have belief in them, right? So as human beings, and as much as we try and steer clear of this in terms of our own mental health, mindset, whatever, there's a difference between looking for validation in others and using others as a support system to bring you up, right? So I hear this quote all the time and I see it on Instagram all the time. There's so few people that spend their time in life, in your own life, constantly boosting you up and bringing you up, right? Most of the time the devil's at play. Most of the time it's, dude, we should just, F it and go out and drink tonight, like LOL, like our lives. Or when we were in high school, and this is a dumb comparison, but I was in a hot work studio today with a guy on a phone call with his family, and they were talking about family drama, and this guy must be a preacher or something. And he was like, oh, I'll get off the phone. I was like, no, it's really fine. I'd rather listen to you than like the woman telling me to pedal harder, because I was going to be on my phone anyway. And he said, he's like, listen, the devil's always at play here. Like, I was over at their house and I don't cuss. And and we had this conversation and they just kept saying, like, just say one cuss word, say one cuss word. And he was like, how stupid is that? First of all, like, are we in second grade? And secondly, it's like, if you think about it, that's people always constantly trying to bring you down, even if it doesn't outwardly look like someone's trying to bring you down to their level. Like, that's a very simple example to show you what it could be in bigger aspects of life. So maybe it's someone saying like, dude, it's the weekend. Why are you working on your business? Right? Like, come out and like do it later. Like, maybe it's someone saying, oh, well, I feel like you work your business every single night when you get home, and that's really not something you should be doing. Like, it feels like you're being manipulated, right? There's all these different little feedbacks that you get from all these people that don't spend their time building you up. So when you have someone that says strictly like, I believe in you and I'm here to support you for your dreams, and in 5 years, when all of the shit that you didn't want to do right now, when you've done it, you'll be able to do this for other people as well. So it's not like we're relying on each other to feel validated, but we do rely on each other to keep pushing us to be better, right? To uplift each other and be positive in each other's lives, as opposed to bringing us down a lot of other people that don't get this, they don't even most of the time do it knowingly, but they're holding you back, right? By not encouraging you to work hard at this. Because one, they don't understand and they don't attempt to understand what this is. And two, because they don't understand, they don't see the vision of what something like this type of business can do for someone in the long run. So ask questions, get to the root of things. It's going to save you a lot of time. And it's also going to make your team feel like you really, truly, one, believe in them, but two, care about what their holdbacks are. And you guys can work on this together. It's also okay. And this is the second thing you talked about. It's also okay to say you're disappointed in yourself when you are, right? I feel like a lot of times, and people call this like toxic positivity, which I think is overly used, but it's when you are constantly positive and ignoring like things that you feel, whether you're disappointed or feeling like, you know, business isn't growing as much as you think it should be with the work you're putting in, or you're not feeling hot about yourself, or something else is going on in life and all you do is ignore it and just keep saying positive things and putting positivity out in the world. Yes, that can help, but it's also important to acknowledge the feelings that you're feeling. So it's okay to say you're disappointed in yourself at times in your business and in your life. But the big thing with that is when we have a support group like this is key, guys. Like, we have something that most people don't have in this community, is to be able to share all of those things and actually find the beauty within them, right? So if you're disappointed in your business right now, if you're feeling some sort of way, whatever the word may be, it's your ability to openly share it in a judgment-free zone, get it out, and then we all work on it together and say, okay, what is the game plan here and what's our next goal? Maybe your next goal is something that's completely not attainable, but we adjust that goal to make it something that's challenging yet attainable, and positively grow out of that disappointment or discouragement, whatever it may be, by reaching goals that you've now set in part of your new game plan, right? So nobody's sitting here saying, oh, well, just believe in yourself and, you know, ignore all the feelings that you're feeling, because that'll work for a week and then you'll crash even harder than where you started, right? Sorry, I'm parched. So those were the two big takeaways, but I wanted to go over some mindset continuum things for different categories on how to go from fixed versus growth. Okay. And it's all on a scale here, you guys. So I'm going to go over different categories. So the first one I want to go over is just your worldview in general. Okay. So this can be a lot of things, right? Your worldview, how you view the world, how you view others, how you view how your life is happening or how it's going. And it changes constantly as we grow, right? So the first one, I want you guys to write this out. This is called your worldview. And I'm going to give you three categories: fixed, mixed, and high growth. Okay. So three categories under each subject, right? So if your worldview, right, if you're someone that is unchanging or unchangeable, you're fixed in this, you're not growing, basically. Is everyone understanding what I'm saying? So you see yourself as fixed and unchangeable. You see yourself as someone that needs to fit into the current world, no matter what it may be. Or you're someone that will not change their views or their outlook because you're unwilling to hear or see or, I guess, explore any other view of the world. A mixed mindset here is growth in a limited number of domains. You see life as only offering a limited amount of choices. Is this starting to make sense now? Put a 1 if this is making sense. Okay. High growth. Life is about deciding what you want, and you are able to create these opportunities, and you have the ability to reach your goals. That's what you're saying about your life, right? So we went from mixed was life offers you a limited amount of choices, and you have those choices to choose from. Going to high growth is your ability, and this is what it says, change your most basic characteristics. How terrifying is that, right? Because we think all the time, like, our most basic characteristics is who we are. It's who we always been. And what's funny is my basic characteristics 4 years ago are completely different than when they are now. And it was literally like 80% of this business, 20% becoming a mom. But it says life is about deciding what you want and knowing that you have the ability to go out and seize all of those opportunities, understanding it will be hard, but knowing that the world is in front of you. So that's your high growth mindset of a worldview. Which one do I want to do next? I'll just go in order. Next one is challenges. Okay, a fixed mindset. And this might seem obvious, but you avoid all challenges. But the key here is you see everything as a potential threat. Anything new or anything that requires thought, change, etc., is a threat to your current situation. Mixed, and this is where I need to better myself or move into this high growth mindset. You prefer clear and immediate goals that aren't too far out of reach or in an area that you find comfortable. And I think a lot of us sit here. I think it's a human nature thing to sit here. And then moving on to high growth is embracing those challenges. Yes, it's hard, you guys. But this is key. It's even when the path of achievement is not immediately clear. And you guys all made this choice when joining this business. So you are very capable of being in this high growth mindset. I'll say it again. You embrace challenges even when the path to achievement is not immediately clear. I'm going to keep on going here. And this is similar, but it's somewhat different. So this is under encountering difficulty and obstacles. So difficulty and obstacles versus challenges. I would categorize a challenge as goals that you're trying to meet for yourself, and obstacles and difficulty are the roadblocks that you meet along the way. Does that make sense? Okay. So obviously a fixed mindset, you're going to give up immediately when the first sign of difficulty presents itself, which I think it happens a lot more than you think, because when you're already setting yourself up for a challenge that you're clear on, and you are like, I have girls right now, they're like, I want to be director by the end of this year. And that definitely is a high growth mindset, because it's a task based on where they sit right now. It's not going to be immediately clear their path. It's going to be very difficult. Right? So if you have this challenge you're very aware of, and you're in this, and you're in even a fixed towards growth mindset of it, if you are if you're in a mix towards growth, right? Say you're in a pretty good spot when it comes to challenges, but when you go to the obstacles and difficulties along that challenge, if you're in a fixed mindset of every time you encounter a roadblock, it just consumes you and just tears you down. That's a fixed mindset. And the challenges, it doesn't matter what stage you're at. Moving to mixed mindset and growth, or in obstacles and difficulties, you persist only when you see progress. Okay. You only decide which type of difficulties and obstacles you want to overcome, because those are the ones you're used to and you're good at. And that plays directly in this business, you guys. I mean, a lot of us are like, just keep trying, my VIP spell will be over. But you know, the second we feel pushback on NPs and it's like, oh, this is my same problem over and over, you redirect your energy elsewhere because you know that's something that really scares you and you don't want to push through that difficulty. A high growth mindset is persist for long periods of times, even when setbacks occur and when new skills need to be learned to achieve those challenges in which the obstacles are in your way. I'll say it again. High growth mindset for difficulty and obstacles is you persist for a long period of time, even when it means you have to learn new skills and try new things to get past those roadblocks. And that's the name of this game, you guys. Consistency over time. That's one of the biggest things it's honestly the biggest thing you can do in this business is consistency over time, even if it's 6 months, even if it's 12 months, even if it's 2 years. It doesn't matter. When you don't stop, there's no way to fail. There's no way to go backwards. Next one is effort. And this one is so huge. And I feel like so huge lately. A fixed mindset with effort is your effort is associated with failure and inability. So it's seen as bad because you expect things to go badly no matter how much effort you give. And I feel like the whole world has felt like this in the past couple of years at some point. A mixed is that you feel like effort is necessary, but it's not enjoyable. You'll do it, but you hate it. You prefer to do things easier. You will find shortcuts in your effort to make it easier or more comfortable, which makes it less effective. A high growth mindset is you understand that effort is a path, right? Just like I just said, it's consistency. Effort is not like I gave effort for one day, I should see results. You're actively working on developing new strategies to give yourself effective effort over time. You can't go to the gym for 2 weeks and expect to shed 20 pounds and have it stay off for an entire year. Just like you can't consistently keep up with market partner potentials, do your power hours, get on 3 training calls that week, and then expect to hit MMB next month. Next one is feedback and criticism. Fixed mindset, you will obviously ignore useful, guys, this is key, useful negative feedback. Negative feedback is not always bad. And people want to call it constructive. Okay, sure, if that makes you feel better about it. But growing up as a jock, guys, I got negative feedback almost every other day. It doesn't mean that it's meant to bring you down. It's meant for you to grow from it. Okay, so a fixed mindset when it comes to feedback is you ignore all types of negative or constructive feedback, but whatever you want to call it. And you see feedback or negative feedback as basically a big fat list of all your faults. And a big sort of wake up call here is that it kind of is, but that's a good thing to know your weaknesses and your faults rather than go through life not ever having the mindfulness to know what you could improve upon. Like that sounds like living in like brain jail. Like I can't imagine never growing because I wasn't even aware of my faults, right? A mixed mindset. Only formative feedback is seen as useful as long as it's targeted for you to achieve something. You only want feedback when you know that it could better you. And a high growth mindset is you request critical feedback. You want it. You want to improve. You want to be told your weaknesses. Targeted at your quote unquote faults, because that's what they are, in order to improve all of these other processes and all of these other mindset categories. you request and you crave that type of negative critical feedback. I'm going to skip the next one because I want it. No, I'm not. Okay. Next one I have here is success of others. And I feel like this one is something we're pretty good at, but I think it really can be good to reflect on this, because you might not be getting this from your others in your life, right? So a fixed mindset in how you view success of others. You feel threatened by any comparisons of others. You avoid comparisons. And you basically just view all comparison or challenge from others as a threat. Anyone doing well is a comparison. Anyone in the same road, highway as you are in life right now, if they do something slightly better, that's seen as a threat. Or like, why am I not doing that exact same thing, right? You're looking lane to lane, when in reality, you really only need to look in your rear view mirrors every 5 to 10 seconds for half a second, just to make sure that you got people behind you where they need to be to support you. You're close enough to the people in front of you, and the people on the side, they're there, but you might have a new car next to you every 10 seconds, and that's okay. You're still on the same path, and that has nothing to do with how quickly you're going to get to your goal, right? A mixed mindset is you enjoy personal success, so you'll engage in competition and comparison when you know you're going to look good. And I have been guilty of this my entire life, and in multiple aspects. I don't do it every day by any means. I used to, but I still, who doesn't feel like, oh, like I know in this space, I am exceeding every other expectation. So I'm going to insert myself here in this space or this conversation or whatever it may be, because you would kill it, right? But it's really scary to walk into a room of SEDs and spark up conversation and just act like you're one of the rest of them, because you know that technically they're farther on their journey. A growth mindset is you seek out the masters and the experts. This goes back to every quote you've ever seen from any of us, especially directors. The table that you sit at matters. You want to learn the secrets. You want to learn the trade. You want to observe and pick their brain, right? Competition is seen as a way for both competitors to learn and grow. So you won't seek out the table or the room that you feel you don't yet deserve to sit at. But guess what? Only those people that insert themselves into that table and annoy the crap out of that table eventually get invited. Okay, we only got 2 more. The next one is making mistakes. This one's funny to me because I know we all do it. Not only do you hide mistakes, you completely ignore them when you make them. Put a 2 in the chat if you've ever made a royal mistake and you're so stressed out about it that you just seriously pretend it didn't happen. It's like human nature. It's like, well, just not gonna think about that. Okay, moving on. And then it lingers over you for weeks. And it's like a pit in your stomach where you're like, I'm not talking about it, never happened. Right? So you hide and ignore from your own mistakes. It's so toxic, but we have all done it. Okay, mixed mindset when it comes to mistakes. You expect to make mistakes and you understand that those mistakes can be corrected. I think we all live here most of the time. But the mixed part of it is that you're only accepting mistakes that don't feel heavy. It's the heavy ones that we just ignore and whoo, white claw that one away, right? and a high growth mindset for mistakes. You deliberately stretch yourself so that you make mistakes inadvertently. You stretch yourself so much and so far outside of your comfort zone that mistakes are inevitable, but that creates a high learning potential. And you will grow much farther from those mistakes than you would minor ones that you're comfortable making. Last but not least, when you are offered help and support, and all my Libras out here, study this one. Fixed mindset, you turn down all help and support. You feel that needing help highlights your own weaknesses, makes you weak, makes you feel like you can't handle your own shit, makes you feel like a burden to others. And I know that we've all felt this way at some point, but I think some of us live in this space. We live in this space that we compare ourselves, if we're going back to feeling or success of others, right? We compare ourselves so much to things and people that we don't even have the full picture of. So we feel like, hey, come here. Look, our last one, offered help and support. Do I turn down help and support because it highlights my own weaknesses and I feel like a burden to others? You can say the correct answer.
Yes.
24/7.
It's probably the last time I'll be here.
I live in this space, you guys. I compare myself constantly to oh, she's a mom of 5 and she's handling it easy, right? Because I see it on social media. Or I only have 2 kids and I get to work from home and my mom's here to help me. Why can't I do more? Why can't I improve my mental health? All these things, what is wrong with me? And I don't ask for help because it's my own weaknesses and it's my own problem and something inside of me that I'm not doing because I shouldn't need help. And that's a fixed mindset. Mixed mindset. You accept help and support when it's offered. You will not seek out help if difficulties, obstacles, or goals persist. And even then, when it's offered, you will mostly only take some level of what is offered. So basically, you tolerate help. And lastly, this one's obvious. You seek out help and support from specialized and specific sources and people. Whether that may be someone else in this team that's not directly on your team, whether that's a leader. And guys, don't be afraid. You might get told no, you might get ignored. It doesn't matter as long as you're putting yourself out there. It might be a professional, it might be a friend, it might be a parent, it might be a therapist, whatever it may be. Do you guys think Steve Jobs got where he got on his own with no help whatsoever? It might seem like that now, but if you know anything or research anything about him, he will tell you he had dozens, if not hundreds of people that helped him substantially along the way. But does anyone look at Steve Jobs as any less than because of all the help he got? No, he's a fucking icon. And thank God, because I wouldn't be talking to you on this iMac right now if it weren't for him. Okay? So that's the call. I'm going to stop recording. If you have questions,